Why you should only intermittent fast for 16 hours a day, which you may be thinking yourself, what is Danny from Conscious Calisthenics talking about? So many times he's promoted 1 meal a day and fasting for way longer than 16 hours a day. And what I want to say is, yes, it is very good for many different reasons, but I'm going to talk specifically about why people that want to optimize muscle growth should only intermittent fast for 16 hours a day. So if this is not your goal with intermittent fasting and whatever diet that you're combining with daily intermittent fasting, then there's no point in you watching this video. But if you're someone that does want to make sure that you're getting the greatest muscle gains whilst intermittent fasting, make sure you watch this video from start to finish, because I'm going to talk about a lot of different things that I haven't talked about in the past and various few other things that I may have talked about in the past. So yes, intermittent fasting is proven through so many different scientific studies to massively increase testosterone production in men and females, anywhere around 100 to 130% in females, and men anywhere from 200 to 400%. And then the other hormone boosting benefit, which is with human growth hormone, which is shown to be increased within the body by about 1,300% in females and around 2,000% in men, which those things are key for giving you muscle growth, because when we're younger, most of us are producing way more testosterone and human growth hormone naturally within the body, and as most people are getting older and older and older, they decline more and more and more. And you want to be making sure that you're doing as many things as you can, especially as you're getting older, to naturally optimize human growth hormone and testosterone production to give you the greatest health possible holistically, and to give you the most optimal longevity benefits that they can provide you with, and to give you the greatest body composition so you don't have excess fat, and for you to grow muscle as well. But there is various other things that intermittent fasting does not provide you with that will not give you optimal muscle growth. So this is the reason why it's best for people that want to optimize muscle growth to only intermittent fast around 16 hours a day. Because the longer that you fast past 16 hours is not going to give you the greatest optimal muscle growth. I'm going to explain to you in this video various reasons as to why. So first off, intermittent fasting puts your body into a catabolic state, which means breaking down, which isn't a bad thing whatsoever. You don't need to be concerned about this, because there's a lot of different benefits that are induced within the body whilst intermittent fasting and being in that catabolic state. And then you also can put the body into an anabolic state, which is induced within the body when we are eating food. And what anabolic basically means is building up. So if you're wanting to grow your muscles, being in a state of anabolism is key for you to grow your muscles as much as possible. And what I want to say is, intermittent fasting may put you into catabolic state, but you do not need to be concerned about losing muscle mass whatsoever. Because a lot of people may be concerned when I'm talking about intermittent fasting and putting you into catabolic state, but the science shows that it helps preserve muscle mass. It's not necessarily going to optimize muscle growth, but you will only start to lose muscle if you fast for days and days in a row. From the research I've looked into, I think you have to fast longer than 72 hours to start losing muscle mass, which obviously with intermittent fasting, even if you're doing 1 meal a day, you're not going to lose muscle mass. So if anyone's concerned about that, you do not need to be whatsoever. So when your body is in its catabolic state whilst doing intermittent fasting, it's also going to activate a pathway known as autophagy, which is known as self-cannibalism. And what this process does is some very important things to optimize your health holistically, short-term and long-term, maximize your longevity, and keep terminal health issues that could end your life way earlier and reduce the chance of just overall sickness and disease. And what this effect is actually doing is eating up cells that are not working so well, recycling them and creating new cells that function optimally. And it also eats up undigestible proteins and recycles them. And then it creates new usable amino acids, which are key for repairing tissues and other various things within our bodies, and also externally on our bodies as well. And what happens when autophagy is high? mTor, which is a pathway within the body, is inhibited. And then when you go and eat sufficient amounts of proteins and carbohydrates, what will happen is autophagy goes down and mTor goes up. And this is when your body switches into an anabolic state. Because what is happening when mTor is activated, it is known as the master controller of protein synthesis, which this cannot be induced within the body when you're consuming no carbohydrate or proteins whatsoever, which you're obviously not doing that whilst you're in the intermittent fasted state, which when mTor is induced within the body, it is going to start your muscles growing. So this is something that you really can only get through the things that I've just mentioned, and this is why being in a fasted state is not the best for optimizing muscle growth, at least one of the main reasons. But there is also a downside to mTor. What is happening when this is activated within the body, it's creating a lot of different toxic byproducts and waste within the body. So if you're someone that is not intermittent fasting and you're eating multiple meals throughout the day, mTor is very high pretty much all hours of the day. And then this is one of the most major contributing factors for sickness and disease, short-term and long-term, and it will massively shorten your maximum lifespan as well, which is obviously not a very good thing whatsoever. And you may be wondering, well, surely it's just better to intermittent fast longer. Well, if you want to optimize muscle growth like myself, then no whatsoever. And if you aren't fasting for longer than that, but you're still daily intermittent fasting around 16 hours a day, you're getting a balance between being in a catabolic state and an anabolic state, and switching between mTor activation and autophagy activation. And the second reason is when you're intermittent fasting, you're not taking in protein sources, which then doesn't give you optimal nitrogen balance. And this is known through scientific research to be key to optimize muscle growth. And you can only get enough nitrogen through protein sources. And from the different scientific studies out there, there's certain scientific studies say that you need this amount of protein per pound of body weight. But what I have seen that gives the optimal nitrogen balance with the lowest amount of protein is 0.5 grams per pound of body weight. Does it necessarily mean that if you're someone that's training on a regular basis to optimize muscle growth, that this is going to give you the greatest muscle growth benefits possible? Not necessarily. So if you're someone that's working out, you probably want to try and aim higher than the amount that I've just mentioned if you want to optimize muscle growth. So that is just something to take into consideration. And if you think about it, with people that have put on the most muscle mass possible, such as pro bodybuilders, yes, they're using exogenous forms of steroids and synthetic human growth hormone and other different pharmaceuticals and substances that are not good for you whatsoever, short term and long term. But they normally eat around 4 hours every single day. Well, in between each meal, should I say, they have a 4-hour break between each meal and normally have 5 meals a day. So they are activating mTor a lot throughout the day. So they're in this permanent state pretty much of being anabolic, which is great for making them as big as possible, but they are also massively sacrificing their health long term and shortening their lifespan. So I'm not necessarily saying you should copy them, but what I would say is just do daily intermittent fasting around 16 hours a day. Then, like I said, you've got a good balance between the fasted state and the non-fasted state, and just make sure that you're eating adequate amount of proteins to actually optimize muscle growth. And I've actually been switching up my diet now, so I'm eating way more protein. I've been doing it for around 9 days now, and I am definitely noticing on the scales that my weight is starting to improve. So that's just something that you need to be massively aware of, and most people are aware of that, but there's a lot of people that are under eating on protein and want to maximize muscle growth, and then they wonder why not when they're training hard enough, resting enough, going to bed early enough, doing all the other things that are key for giving you the best muscle growth benefits, which the growth of the muscles actually happen after training when you're resting and recovering rather than when you are training. So always make sure that you are resting and recovering as much as you possibly can. But if you're someone that wants to optimize weight loss, then try an intermittent fast for as long as you possibly can every single day. As I mentioned in many other videos before, 1 meal a day is the ultimate weight loss hack that's going to give you the most rapid weight loss benefits possible. And if you want to learn about how to eat 1 meal a day in the most safe and effective way, I put a video link for my video where I talk about that in more detail. That has 500,000 views, well, over 500,000 views, and is one of the best informational videos on this subject. So if that interests you, you can go and check that out now. So dependent on your goals, you want to optimize muscle growth, only fast around 16 hours a day. If you want to optimize weight loss benefits, fast around 22 to 23 hours a day. So it's all dependent upon your goals. We all have different goals, but some of you may be fasting for way longer than you ideally need to be and actually sacrificing muscle gains, and you may be trying to optimize muscle growth, and this may be holding you back. So this is just something to be aware of. But one thing I want to add is when I was transforming my body, where I gained around 10 kilos of muscle, a lot of that journey I was eating 1 meal a day, and yes, I did gain a significant amount of muscle mass, but I probably could have gained way more if I was only fasting the majority of the time during that transformation for around 16 hours a day and eating optimal amounts of protein to give me the best muscle growth possible. So I'm not saying you can't gain muscle with intermittent fasting. I have proven to many other people that it is possible, but if you want to push the envelope and get the best bang for your buck, then it's not best to do 1 meal a day. Oh, and one last thing, I thought about this earlier. There is some people that do 1 meal a day that have got quite a lot of muscle mass. But from what I am aware of with these people, they gained that muscle mass way before they started doing 1 meal a day. And like I said earlier on, that intermittent fasting actually helps preserve muscle mass. So just because you may see some people that got a lot of muscle mass doesn't mean that they necessarily got it from doing 1 meal a day. So that's something that you also need to be aware of and take into consideration. Like I said, I am eating more at the moment. I'm definitely getting bigger. My weight is going up and up and up, and I'm feeling really good from it. I'm doing lean bulking, and yeah, longer fasts can also be really good if you want to cut down your weight. If you've got a lot of muscle mass and you want to shed some weight and do like cutting, as it's known in the bodybuilding movement, then yeah, you could do longer daily intermittent fasts to help cut your weight. So that's it, the end of the video. Well, this is the end of the video even. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you like the video, like it down below. Please share this with others that you think would like to hear about what I shared with you today in regards to intermittent fasting and maximizing muscle growth. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below to receive a lot more videos from me on specific subjects such as intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, weight loss, calisthenics, also showing you what I eat and do in a day, and various other different videos to inspire you and motivate you, and also teach you the information to gain and maintain the body desire, the fitness levels and the energy levels like I've managed to, and many other people that have followed my information consistently over time to get those results and many other amazing benefits as well. So if this type of video sounds good to you, make sure you click that subscribe button down below and you click the bell notification button next to the subscribe button, otherwise YouTube will not notify you of when new videos are uploaded, and I have new ones coming almost every single day. So as always, stay fit, stay energetic, and go get those gains. Peace.